just outside Nanjing in China's Jiangsu province, where a massive block was hand-cut 600 years ago with precision no ancient tools can explain. It's too heavy for modern cranes. A study found a 3% match in carving patterns across continents. Let's dive in. Here rests a single unfinished stone block, weighing around 16,500 tons. That's heavier than 2,000 elephants, or nearly 3 times the weight of the Eiffel Tower made of solid granite. What's remarkable is this block wasn't shaped by machines, but carved by hand more than 600 years ago during the early Ming Dynasty. In the year 1405, Emperor Yongle ordered a grand stele to honor his father, Emperor Hongwu. The Yangshan quarry was chosen to supply the massive stone components. The largest block, nearly 30 meters long, 13 meters wide, and 8 meters high, was never moved. Once it became clear that the completed monument would weigh over 31,000 tons, the plan was abandoned. Even today, with modern cranes and excavation equipment, engineers say it's impossible to lift the stone without risking collapse of the surrounding terrain. A 2024 report from China's Ministry of Natural Resources confirms this. The mystery deepens with the craftsmanship. The stone has smooth surfaces, sharp cuts, and square holes, possibly for lifting or anchoring. Yet no tools have ever been found. According to the Chinese Academy of Social Sciences, the precision of the work doesn't match any known historical techniques from the time. Surrounding the site, vertical rock faces suggest that millions of tons of stone were removed, but there are no records of where that material went. And there's no temple, tomb, or structure known to have required a block of this scale. Zoom in on the colossal stone block at Yangshan. You'll notice something easy to miss but impossible to ignore: massive ledges, carved with near-perfect symmetry. Experts once believed these ledges were anchor points for ropes. But here's where it gets strange. The same features are also visible at the Menkaure Pyramid in Giza, in the fortress walls of Cusco, Peru, and on the cliff temples of Petra in present-day Jordan. In 2024, a study published by the International Journal of Archaeological Science found that these ledges follow nearly identical proportions and depth ratios, matching within a 3% margin across all sites. That level of precision isn't random. It's technical. At Yangshan, the cuts are clean, deliberate, far beyond what bronze or iron chisels could achieve. At Petra, the marks are nearly identical. In Baalbek, Lebanon, the same story repeats. Even at Egypt's unfinished obelisk in Aswan, the grooves appear almost machine-made, sharp, smooth, precise. According to a 2024 analysis by the University of Cairo's engineering department, the 3D laser scans of quarry grooves from Petra and Yangshan revealed near-identical curvature and micro-vibration patterns, matching modern rotary blade signatures, not the chipping marks of ancient hand tools. And yet, none of these civilizations ever made contact. The mainstream narrative says they developed independently. No trade, no travel, no shared knowledge. But the stones tell a different story. They suggest influence, shared methods passed down across oceans and eras. Not by shared tools, but possibly by shared instruction. So the question is no longer how they built these megastructures. It's who taught them to do it. Across the ancient world, massive stone projects were mysteriously left unfinished, abandoned mid-construction, as if the builders disappeared overnight. In Baalbek, Lebanon, 3 colossal blocks known as the Trilithon each weigh nearly 800 tons and form the foundation of the Roman Temple of Jupiter. But the stones are much older than the Roman structure above them. Nearby lies the stone of the pregnant woman, partially cut and left in place. Then in 2014, archaeologists discovered an even larger block, still embedded in bedrock, estimated to weigh over 1,650 tons, the largest known carved stone ever found. In Egypt's Aswan quarry, the unfinished obelisk remains frozen in time. Had it been completed, it would have stood over 42 meters tall and weighed more than 1,100 tons. But it cracked, and work ceased. In Petra, Jordan, temples and tombs are only half carved into the cliffs. Chisel marks end mid-stroke, as if construction suddenly stopped. What ties these sites together is more than their scale. Its timing. Many of them were abandoned around the same period, despite being continents apart. Historians offer isolated reasons: the death of rulers, lost funding, and political unrest. But those don't explain a global pattern. One abandoned monument is a mystery. Before we continue, I have a special 10-second request for all of you listening. If you can help me in any way, just press the notification bell and hit that subscribe button. It means the world. It really supports this channel. And if you do that for me, I promise my team and I will do everything we can to make this show even better for you. In the year 1992, in the rural village of Xianbikun, located in Longyu County, Zhejiang Province, eastern China, one of the most mysterious archaeological discoveries in Asia began by accident. A local farmer named Wu and I had always been puzzled by a small pond that never dried up, even during severe drought. Hoping to catch larger fish, he decided to drain it. But what surfaced was not a bigger catch. It was a carved stone staircase, descending into solid bedrock. Intrigued, Wu and a group of neighbors rented water pumps and kept them running nonstop for 17 days. As the water receded, a massive underground chamber slowly emerged, walls, stairs, and an entrance so precise it was clearly man-made. They had uncovered what is now known as the Longyu Caves, a vast underground complex that had been entirely forgotten. According to a 2024 study by the Zhejiang Provincial Institute of Cultural Relics, the complex spans more than 30,000 square meters and reaches depths of up to 30 meters, roughly the height of a 10-story building. And it was all carved out by hand, straight into sandstone. Researchers from the Chinese Academy of Sciences estimate that over 1 million cubic meters of stone were removed. That is approximately 3 million tons. Yet, no debris or quarry site has ever been found. The walls are smooth, ceilings slant at exactly 45 degrees. Support pillars are spaced evenly, identical in shape and size. Even more curious, horizontal striations line the walls at a uniform 60-degree angle, closely resembling the cut marks produced by modern machinery. Based on erosion patterns and tool analysis, archaeologists believe the caves are at least 2,000 years old, possibly older. Some architectural researchers, including scholars affiliated with Tsinghua University, have proposed that the cave's layout may resemble a hydraulic network, or even a blueprint for an underground city. Others suggest they were intentionally hidden, perhaps sacred, or part of a much larger system still buried in silence. But if these chambers were meant to stay secret, then who built them? And what exactly were they hiding from? The Longyu Caves are more than an architectural feat. They are a masterpiece of ancient engineering, carved with precision deep into the bedrock of eastern China. But here's where the mystery deepens. No one knows who built them. In archaeology, even the smallest projects leave behind evidence, tool fragments, discarded materials, and traces of human activity. Yet at Longyu, and in several other large underground sites across China, not a single artifact has been found. According to a 2024 report by the National Cultural Heritage Administration of China, more than 90% of ancient construction sites contain at least some signs of labor or settlement. But at Longyu, absolutely none. If thousands of workers excavated more than 3 million tons of sandstone, where did they live? Where did they sleep? Where did they go? And the design is no accident. Each chamber is symmetrically aligned. Columns are evenly spaced, with no sign of structural error. Internal channels appear to manage water flow, indicating advanced knowledge of both hydraulics and environmental control. But there's something even more unusual. Sound behaves strangely inside these caves. In some rooms, a single word echoes sharply. In others, it fades instantly, vanishing mid-sentence. In 2024, acoustic engineer Dr. Wen Jia led a study using echo mapping technology. Her team found that the cave interiors were designed with intentional sound modulation, similar to modern performance halls or covert communication systems. So these were not shelters carved in haste. They were built with precision and with purpose. Could these have been ceremonial sites built by a culture so ancient they've slipped through the cracks of history? Or are we seeing the remnants of something even more advanced, something lost? Share your thoughts in the comments. We love hearing your theories and your questions. Roughly 100 miles north of the Longyu caves, in the hills near Yangshan in Anhui province, lie the Huashan Grottoes, a complex of 30 enormous chambers, each carved with architectural precision. Inside are staircases, high ceilings, sloped pillars, and stone columns that support the weight of entire mountainsides. But the real mystery? There are no carvings, no inscriptions, and no records. Even China's detailed imperial archives say nothing. A report by the State Administration of Cultural Heritage confirmed this silence and noted identical tool markings to Longyu, angled precisely at 60 degrees, with no debris left behind. Closer to Beijing, the Gaiyaju cliff dwellings sprawl across 100,000 square meters of stone wall. These are not caves, they're homes, complete with carved beds, chimneys, staircases, and rainwater systems. So far, 117 caves and over 350 chambers have been documented. In 2025, China's Ministry of Housing and Urban-Rural Development likened the site to a primitive high-rise apartment complex. And again, no records, no villages, same tool marks, same precision. Could it all trace back to a single forgotten civilization? The patterns etched into China's ancient cave cities already defied explanation, but then the mystery deepened. In the year 1986, during construction near the city of Guang'an in Sichuan province, workers digging for a water conservancy project made a discovery no one expected. Beneath the soil, they uncovered a pair of sacrificial pits filled with artifacts, unlike anything ever seen in this region of China. Not stone tools or pottery, but ritual objects made of bronze, gold, jade, and ivory. Over time, this site would be known as Sansinduy. And by the year 2025, archaeologists had excavated more than 13,000 artifacts, including over 1,200 bronze items, more than 540 gold pieces, and approximately 560 jade objects. But it wasn't just the quantity that shocked researchers, it was the design. Some bronze masks measured over 1.5 meters wide, with exaggerated facial features, bulging eyes, sharply defined jaws, and ears that stretched outward like wings. Their appearance was so unconventional, so advanced, that some scholars described them as otherworldly. According to metallurgy experts from Peking University, these artifacts were cast using a technique far beyond what was thought possible in Bronze Age China. The process involved multi-stage casting, high-precision mold design, and exceptional control over metal purity, methods comparable to those used in ancient Egypt and Mesopotamia. Yet Sansinduy appears to have developed this technology independently. There are no records, no language, no tombs, no military structures. Unlike the Shang dynasty, which left behind a written legacy, Sansinduy left only artifacts, many of which were deliberately broken or burned before burial. Then, in 2021, archaeologists discovered 6 more sacrificial pits. One of them contained a towering bronze statue, over 2.5 meters tall, with extended arms and circular holes in both hands, as if once holding something now lost. So, where did this knowledge come from? And why did it vanish? Sansinduy left no answers. Only questions carved in metal. The mystery doesn't end there. Across the plains of Shaanxi province, especially near the ancient capital of Xi'an, lie more than 200 ancient pyramid-shaped burial mounds. Many are clearly mapped and documented. Yet some, particularly in restricted zones, remain largely inaccessible to the public and foreign researchers. What adds to the intrigue is how some of these sites appear carefully camouflaged. Over the years, vegetation was planted to stabilize the structures and prevent erosion. Some researchers suggest that certain mounds were intentionally concealed to protect them from looting or damage. Local zoning policies in effect through 2025 continue to limit access to sensitive areas, officially citing ecological preservation. In 1945, American pilot James Gossman reportedly saw an enormous pale-colored pyramid while flying over Xi'an. He described it as so large, it dwarfed the Great Pyramid of Egypt. While no conclusive evidence has verified his sighting, satellite images have confirmed the presence of multiple symmetrical mounds in the region. In 2021, researchers mapped a series of burial sites in the Qinling Mountains using high-resolution imagery. Though controversial, Some fringe theorists have noted that a few of these structures form triangular alignments similar to those seen at Giza and Teotihuacan, supposedly matching the stars of Orion's belt. However, these claims remain outside mainstream archaeological consensus. One of the largest tombs in the region, the mausoleum of the first Yuan emperor, originally stood around 76 meters tall. While nowhere near the speculated height of 300 meters, it remains one of the largest ancient structures in China. As of 2025, certain areas remain under restricted access, particularly those near active military zones. And while Chinese archaeologists continue to study the region, large-scale excavations at many pyramid sites remain limited. Are these pyramids the remains of a forgotten Chinese civilization? Or could they be part of something even larger, older, and global? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe and follow the channel to discover more interesting things. A massive pyramid buried beneath a forest is mysterious enough. But what if one of China's most iconic monuments, visited by millions, was hiding another, even greater secret just beside it? Welcome to the Terracotta Army and the sealed tomb of Emperor Qin Shi Huang, the man who unified China over 2,200 years ago. Discovered in 1974 by farmers digging in Lintong district near Xi'an, and yet the Terracotta Army became one of the greatest archaeological discoveries of the 20th century. More than 8,000 life-sized warriors now stand in silent ranks. Each one is unique, crafted in clay, wearing battle armor, and built to defend the emperor in the afterlife. But while tourists marvel at the soldiers, the greater mystery lies beneath the nearby burial mound. This mound, shaped like a pyramid, is the emperor's actual tomb, and it has never been excavated. Why not? Because ancient texts warned of deadly defenses, rivers of mercury, mechanical traps, and a ceiling representing the cosmos. At first, these claims seemed like a legend. But in 2020, geochemists from Xi'an University confirmed that mercury levels in the soil were over 100 times the normal background, by suggesting the stories might be true. The historian Sima Qian, writing in the 1st century BCE, described the burial chamber in vivid detail. Mercury flowed as rivers. The ceiling was decorated with pearls to represent the stars. Crossbows were set to fire on intruders. Sounds like a myth, but evidence says otherwise. Experts now believe the tomb may contain pressure-sensitive traps, perhaps spring-loaded arrows or collapsing rooms, that remain intact after 2 millennia. Because of these risks, and to preserve the site, the National Cultural Heritage Administration maintains a strict no-excavation policy. As of 2025, they state, until technology can ensure zero damage, the emperor's tomb will remain sealed. But what if China's story isn't the only one? Across ancient civilizations, legends speak of mysterious figures who emerge during chaos, bringing knowledge, order, and transformation. In Mesopotamia, they were called the Apkallu, 7 sages said to have risen from the waters of the god Ea, bringing humanity the arts of writing, agriculture, and construction. In Mesoamerica, the Aztecs and Toltecs honored Quetzalcoatl, the feathered serpent deity who shared metallurgy, astronomy, and agriculture with the people. In Egypt, the god Thoth was credited with gifting hieroglyphic writing, sacred geometry, and the foundation of law. And in China, there was Huangdi, the Yellow Emperor. Far more than a ruler, Huangdi was considered a civilizing hero, a luminous force. Ancient Chinese records attribute to him the creation of writing, the invention of the compass, the foundations of traditional medicine, and the development of tools, weaponry, clay, and architecture. That isn't slow evolution. That's a cultural revolution. While long believed to be a mythological figure, recent genetic studies from the Chinese Academy of Sciences point to a wave of population expansion and technological advancement around 2,600 years before the Common Era, exactly the time Huangdi is said to have lived. Coincidence? Or evidence that myth preserved memory? What if they weren't just gods? What if they were real explorers, survivors, or teachers from a forgotten civilization? Different lands, different languages, same message. A bearer of light and wisdom. A spark of sudden transformation. Maybe they were just stories. Or maybe they were the fragments of something real, echoes from a forgotten world. Across the ancient world, legends speak of wise beings who brought knowledge and vanished. In western China, near the Qinghai Tibet Plateau, lies Mount Baigong, where researchers in 1996 discovered one of the country's strangest archaeological finds, the Baigong pipes. More than 20 pipe-like structures were found embedded in solid rock, some stretching up to 40 meters and intersecting the mountain at precise 90-degree angles. Several extended into nearby Tuosu Lake, appearing industrial in form but prehistoric in context. Tests revealed high concentrations of iron oxide, silica, and calcium oxide. But roughly 8% of the material defied classification, neither fully metal nor stone. Some fragments reportedly emitted low levels of radiation, though conclusive peer-reviewed evidence is still lacking. Smaller tubes, just centimeters wide, formed what looked like an organized network from the mountain's core to the lake bed. Were they part of an ancient drainage system? A water transport network? Or something entirely unknown? Mainstream geologists suggest these may be fossilized tree roots, mineralized over millennia by iron-rich groundwater. Yet that theory struggles to explain the pipe's precise geometry and structured layout. No kilns, no tools, no settlements have ever been found, only silent tubes embedded deep in stone. And across China, similar mysteries persist. In Yangshan, a 16,000-ton stone slab lies abandoned. In Longyu, vast hand-carved chambers appear without any record of who built them. In Xi'an, a sealed imperial tomb remains unopened, guarded by thousands of terracotta soldiers and rumored to contain mercury-filled rivers. In Shaanxi, pyramid-shaped mounds align with celestial patterns and were hidden beneath layers of forest. These are not isolated cases. They are pieces of a larger puzzle, traces of knowledge, planning, and engineering that hint at a lost chapter of human history. Whether erased by time or hidden by design, their story may still be buried, waiting to be understood. If you enjoyed today's video, please give it a like, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Your support means a lot to us. Click on the video that appears on your screen right now. I hope you'll love this content. Comment below about the next topic you'd like to see featured on our channel. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for being with us. Leave a comment, like to show your support, and remember to hit that subscribe button for more exciting videos. See you next time.